and I keep saying that she should be competing. I even offered to coach her, but...
I'd prefer to keep work and pleasure separate.
People on TV tend to look younger than they are. It isn't uncommon to find someone in their mid-20s playing a 16-year-old like Tom Holland is currently doing for Spider-Man. And it's also not unlikely to find a 30-year-old playing a 50-year-old. It's no different for Heartland, the amazing Canadian family drama television show that first aired in 2007. In today's video, we're going to be spilling all the beans concerning the real ages and even the life partners of the Heartland cast. Some of the ages here will shock you. They certainly shocked me. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Amber Marshall. And we're going to start with Amber Marshall because why not? After all, she's the main character and the show majorly revolves around her. In the show, she plays Amy, who inherits her mother's ability to be able to intuit the needs of horses. She also practices natural horsemanship. At the beginning of the show, Amy was a 15-year-old who got injured in a car crash that killed her mother. However, Amber Marshall isn't 15. Instead, she was 19 years old at the time she first got on the show. During the show, Amy, Amber's character, starts off a romantic relationship with a man named Ty Borden. Ty got to the ranch when he was invited by Marion to come become a ranch hand at Heartland as part of his probation. Despite their relationship being rocky and uncertain, they grow to love one another deeply, and around the 5th season, they get married. After 6 years of the show, Amber got married to Shaun, a photographer, on July 27, 2013, after they got engaged in spring 2012. Interestingly, Amber got engaged around the same time that her character in the show, Amy, got engaged. Today, she's 33 years old. Michelle Morgan. Morgan plays Samantha Louise, Lou Fleming Morris, a woman who returns home at the beginning of the series to help run the Heartland. At the beginning of the show, Morgan is 26 years old, which is just around the age that the show places her character since she's supposed to be around 11 years older than Amy. Despite this, she plays the role perfectly. While her on-screen persona may be married to Peter, Morgan is married to Derek Tisdale in real life. Today, she's 39 years old. Shaun Johnston. Shaun Johnston plays Jack Bartlett, who's pretty much the oldest main character. Jack's the patriarch of the family, is Louise and Lou's grandfather, and was Marion's father. As you can tell, Jack, the character Shaun plays, is a pretty old person. However, Shaun started playing the character when he was just 49 years old. Today, he is 63 and hasn't slowed down one bit, even though 63 is a lot closer to the age Jack Bartlett would have been at the beginning of the show. Shaun's married to his wife, Sue Johnston. Sadly, we can't find any other information on the couple, however, he posts her on Instagram a lot, so it's clear they're still going strong. Alicia Newton. Alicia Newton plays Georgina Georgie Fleming Morris, a child adopted by Lou. Georgie is Lou and Peter's adopted daughter, Jack's adopted great-granddaughter, and Phoenix's owner. In the show, she was orphaned at the tender age of 3 after a drunk driver killed her father. After she was separated from her brother Jeff, she started to develop a lot of behavioral problems. When she first arrived at the ranch, she was a runaway who behaved terribly. However, since she loves the ranch and wanted to stay, she improved her behavior. Alicia Newton was around 12 years old when she started playing Georgie, and her talent at the time shone through. Today, she's 20 years old and has been for around 7 seasons. Since Alicia Newton is just around 20 years old, she isn't yet married. Chris Potter. Chris Potter plays Tim Fleming, a character that returns to his family after years of abandoning them due to his issues with alcohol. He is Lou and Amy's father, and he left them when the girls were still really young. Amy was just 4 at the time, and Lou was 14. When Lou and Amy's mother dies, he decides to move back in and purchases Big Ranch River, making him practically a neighbor with the Heartland. At the beginning of the show, Chris was 47 years old, which is just around what Tim Fleming is supposed to be since he had a 25-year-old daughter. In any case, Chris plays the role perfectly. He's happily married to Karen Potter, and they have 4 kids together. Right now, Chris is 61 years old. Now that we are done with the ages and life partners of the main characters of the show, let's talk about the supporting cast. Carrie James. Carrie James plays Caleb Odell. Caleb, a ranch hand hired by Jack after Ty leaves for 4 months. When Caleb comes on the show, he's rather husky and has feelings for Amy. He was also locked in an interesting rivalry with Ty over Amy's affection. He even dates her for a while. However, Amy returns to Ty eventually, Caleb moves on from the heartbreak and dates Ashley Stanton. There was no heartbreak for him this time, and he married her. Carrie was born Carrie James Horn, born on August 2nd, 1986, which makes him around 34 years old today. Right now, Carrie James doesn't have a wife. According to the gossip mill, he might have had one before, but right now, he is as single as they come. So if you feel you've got a chance with him, this is probably your one chance to snatch him from the single market. How are you going to do that? We've got absolutely no idea. Gabriel Hogan. Gabriel Hogan plays Peter Walter Morris. Peter, who happens to be Lou's ex-husband. He was first introduced into the show as PW, which are his initials. At the beginning of the show, he was the owner of a small company called Bedford Oil and was caught doing some drilling on the Heartland property. This, as you might expect, enraged everyone and made Lou organize a protest against his company. Interestingly, around this time, Lou had started texting him, but she only knew him as PW. After an exciting courtship, Peter eventually marries Lou. Sadly, they divorce a few years later. Gabriel, the actor who plays Peter, was born on the 17th of May, 1973, making him presently 48. He has one kid and is married to actress Inga Caldernel. Nathaniel Arcand. Nathaniel Arcand plays Scott Cardinal. Cardinal is a good native Canadian friend of Bartlett Fleming household, who is also Heartland's vet. Cardinal had a pretty tough childhood but was able to turn out well due to Marion, Lou's mom, helping him. In the first 2 seasons, Cardinal had a romantic relationship with Lou. Sadly, they broke up in the second season. While Cardinal didn't look extremely fazed about the loss of the relationship, he eventually regrets that he didn't try harder to get back together with Lou. Unfortunately, by the time he regrets his lack of effort, Lou was already in a committed relationship with Peter. He also serves as a mentor to Ty in the show. Cardinal was born on November 13th, 1971, and is currently 49 years old. Arcand has 4 kids and is married to his long-term partner, Jolene. Interestingly, they just got married in 2016. Jessica Steen. Jessica plays Lisa Stillman, the charismatic owner of Fairfield Stables and a well-known horse breeder. She's first introduced to us when she meets Amy for some advice regarding her horses. In the same period, we see that there might be a budding relationship between her and Jack. A few episodes later, they start dating. Sadly, it's difficult for them to make the relationship work because of Lisa's work. She's always in the south of France seasonally for work, and that puts a strain on their relationship. However, the couple eventually gets back together and decide to elope. Interestingly, they decide to live in different houses even after eloping. In season 11, we find out that Lisa's business is in huge trouble, a fact that she tried to keep from Jack for the longest time. Eventually, Jack finds out and convinces her to live with him at the Heartlands, which she agrees to. Jessica's around 55 years old and was born on December 19, 1965. Interestingly, Jessica has never been married. At one point, there were rumors that she was married to Homefront's David Newsom. However, we haven't been able to find any proof that the information is true, so for now, she's single. Graham Wardle. Graham Wardle plays Ty Borden. When Borden was just a child, he was abused by his stepfather. When he got a bit older, he found the courage to fight back after seeing his mother getting attacked by the same man. This action resulted in Ty being arrested and sent to juvenile hall. He was released a while later, and Marion asked him to come to work for her. Ty goes on to marry Amy, and they're a happy couple for a while. Graham Wardle, who plays Ty, was born on September 6, 1986, and is around 34 years old. Interestingly, he was 21 years old when he was asked to play Ty, a kid of around 16. He married Allison Wardle in 2015 and divorced her just 3 years later. Victoria Pratt. Victoria Pratt plays Casey McMurtry. Casey, a former pro barrel racer, was in a relationship with Tim when she returned to Hudson after the death of her husband, Hank. She was the one who convinced Tim to start a rodeo school and is a sister-in-law to Jen, Lou's current Dude Ranch and Maggie's Diner manager, and aunt to Wyatt and Brick. Victoria was born on December 18, 1970, and is about 50 years old now. She's also been married twice. One was in 2000 to TJ Scott and was divorced in 2016. After 3 years of being single, she got married again. This time, it was to Trace Adkins. That's it, guys. You wanted to know the deets, and now you've got it. Do with this information what you will. Now it's time for me to sign off. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons. Goodbye, and remember to stay safe.